Good evening, and welcome to the Cabinet of Fever Dreams. Tonight, a tale of monsters, closets, and spaghetti. My daughter is scared of a monster under her bed, she should be, is the second part of the Spaghetti Monster trilogy and is read to you tonight by me, Mike J. Langer, with musical backing by betcha. If you want to help this video travel through the YouTube algorithm, check it a like and comment spaghetti. Also, if you want to help keep the show on the air and get access to early and bonus content, drop by patreon.com/MikeJLanger. With all that said, crawl deep under the covers. The monsters can't get you there. I have returned. Last week, I came to this dreaded corner of the internet seeking help. I told all of you faceless strangers about the horrors that were hiding inside of my daughter's closet. I shared the story of the tangle-limbed abomination I had witnessed with you in hopes of finding an explanation for my suffering. I wish I hadn't. The comments that you have left below my plea for help made me sick to my stomach. You called the creature friendly. You said I was lucky to have witnessed the spaghetti monster. You claimed I was blessed. I do not know from which demented corner of the globe you hail from, but you are all gravely mistaken. If you would have seen what I had seen, if your eyes would have gazed upon the blood boiling beneath those tentacles of flesh, if you would have looked into the orchestra of lifeless eyeballs that stared at me that night, you would not have called the beast friendly. You would have not called it anything at all. You would have been rendered wordless in terror. I am not a blessed man. I am cursed. I am cursed with the knowledge of that blasphemous being made of fire and flesh. My daughter calls it the squiggle, but whatever the true name of that creature is, it is never to be uttered by mortal lips. When I read your ridiculous assertions last week, I promised myself I would never set foot in this corner of the digital realm again. But I have returned. The only thing that has kept me sane over the past week has been the thought, the hope, that seeing the gruesome monstrosity was a once-in-a-lifetime flash of terror. Each night I prayed that I would never be faced with that wiry creature of flame ever again. I almost start to believe that one day I will forget that terrible sight. But tonight, those illusions were crushed. I've seen the creature again. I've seen the creature again, and screaming my witness into this pixelated campfire is the only way that I can hold on to the shreds of sanity I have left. Annie, Daddy is tired. He can't come right now. Was waking from a restless sleep. Reality was numbed with alcohol and sleeping pills. Yet past the muffled emptiness of my soul I could hear my wife. If you're scared, then I can go. But Daddy needs to sleep right now. No, I heard my daughter say. I need Daddy. He's braver. Past the blaring light, I could only see her silhouette. A glowing black angel of horrors to come. Is it the squiggle? I asked. Pete, don't. You need to sleep. You need rest. I ignored my wife. The chemicals in my blood dulled the fear. Is it the squiggle? I repeated. Yes, my daughter said. The squiggle is hiding under my bed, and I'm scared. I leapt to my feet and stomped my way to the wardrobe. My diminished mental state freed me of rational thought. Deep inside I knew that the enemy I was about to face was beyond my means. In my heart of hearts I knew that no amount of violence would have an effect on that glowing nightmare. Yet my primal brain took control. I wanted to protect my family. I wanted to protect my child. Jesus Christ, Peter, what the fuck are you doing? My wife yelled. I'm going to put an end to this. She looked at me like she was about to scream again, but the sight of the short silhouette in the doorway tempered her emotions. Have you lost your mind? What is the bat for? I gripped the aluminum club in my hands. To put an end to this, I said. I'll be back shortly. Daddy? She asked as we stood in the doorway to her room. Is the squiggle real? No. Annie's brow furrowed. Then what is under my bed? I don't know. The room was still. In the pale moonlight it looked calm even. Yet the remnants of blood on my daughter's closet stirred chaos in my being. For a moment, I considered turning back. For a brief interlude in my adrenaline-addled madness, I saw reason. But the anger soon rushed back. There was a creature beneath my child's bed, It was a danger to my family. It was a danger to my sanity. It was an affront to the pure fabric of reality. I vowed to destroy the crawling fever dream through the most primitive of means. "Shut the door and go to your mother," I said. She didn't move. My daughter's eyes bounced between my face and the baseball bats I was holding.
"Daddy?"
she finally asked.
"Are you scared?"
"No," I lied, trying to avoid the tremors in my arms. "No, I'm not scared. Now go to your mother." The door shut. I was alone. I was alone with the thing beneath my daughter's bed. I opened the window. The creature would either flee or die. Somewhere in the distance of the dark neighborhood, a dog barked at the moon. Fresh air drifting into the room steadied me somewhat. Her unicorn covers draped over the sides of her bed. I was standing on my own in what looked like a little girl's bedroom. But I knew I wasn't alone. I knew that beneath those happy malformed horse cartoons, something horrid awaited me. With a deep breath, and feet planted firmly on the ground, I lifted the edge of the covers with my baseball bat. Light. From beneath my daughter's bed came a light. It was a mere echo of that horrible crimson glare which burnt at the monstrosity's core, but the light still fortified my tremors. Beyond any doubts, I was certain that the thing my daughter called a squiggle had returned. I was scared. My mind filled with the razor-sharp memories of the week prior, and my knees started to buckle in fear. I was so desperately scared, but I buried that fear. I nudged the frame of the bed with my baseball bat. I did so with bated breath. I was certain that the horror would leap out as soon as I rustled its hiding place. Yet no sudden movement came. Instead, the thing simply stirred. I could hear its distressing limbs rubbing against the linoleum. The images that my imagination brought forth made my palms sweaty. I swung the bat at the bed frame as hard as I could. The creature beneath the bed rustled once more, but it refused to leave its hiding place. I could hear my wife calling my name. She wanted me to stop. She wanted me to return to the bedroom, but there was no turning back. I locked the door. I swung my bat once more. The impact reverberated through my teeth. I slammed down my metal club again. With every frenzied hit that I delivered, the writhing beneath the bed intensified, yet still, no creature presented itself for battle. Behind the door, my wife yelled for me to calm down. The hound outside howled into the dark night. Beyond my aching palms, a world existed, yet reality was punctured by the sounds of impact. Bonk. Cheap metal against flimsy wood. I was nothing but a frail mortal destroying furniture with sports gear, yet an inarticulate rage stained with panic and hopelessness burnt at my core. I convinced myself I could defeat the creature. I convinced myself that I stood a chance against the perplexing form of the unknown. Bonk. With every hit of my weapon, the lie that I had been telling myself strengthened into a facsimile of truth. I was starting to believe that I could face the abomination, that I could protect my family. Yet the light, the horrible shine that rustled beneath my daughter's bed, even a glimpse of that horrid glow was enough to make me want to flee. I shut my eyes and swung once more. Like a soldier leaping out of a trench towards no man's land, I gave up all semblance of rationality and prepared my body for combat. Bonk. My heart echoed in my ears like a frenzied war drum. Bonk. The screams of my wife, the howls of the foreign dog, the crackling of failing wood. The soundscape of the universe hushed down into one big calm before the storm. Bonk. I was a warrior. I was a man armed with a club, ready to protect my blood and home in any way necessary. Through the sheer terror in my soul, I found bravery. Bonk. Crash. The bed collapsed beneath my final strike, but my eyes refused to open. I could hear the thing move. I could hear the staccato of its sickening limbs moving slither my daughter's floor, but my eyes refused to open. "Pete?" I heard my wife from behind the door. "What happened? Pete, are you okay?" I opened my eyes. It sat there, on the windowsill, looking at me. "Pete, come back to us. Peter, please, we're scared." I wanted to put an end to it once and for all. With every shred of control that I had left in my body, I ordered my hands to grip the club tighter. I ordered my body to fight. But it refused.
"Daddy?"
My daughter asked from behind the door.
"Daddy, what's happening?"
The baseball bat slid on my sweaty palms and clattered to the floor. I'd been a fool to think that I could face the creature in battle. I'd been a fool to think I could even look at its unspeakable form without succumbing to madness. I fell to my knees and wept. Past my tear-stained eyes, I could see the glowing beast crawl out of the window. It dropped into the bushes below with an almost imperceptible rustle. The nightmare was gone, but the damage it had caused was irreversible. My daughter is sleeping right now. She was confused about what happened in her room, and she was displeased with the new state of her collapsed bed frame, but when I told her not to ask questions, she obeyed. Her window was locked shut, and she is safe from the horrible knowledge of what I had seen. My daughter is sleeping in covers of unicorns on a mattress on the floor. My wife, however, is awake. I'm standing in the bathroom, dazed by the sight of what I had witnessed. My blood is still filthy with the chemical traces of my sleeping aids. My hands still ache from my impotent attempt at battle. My mind is still convulsing under the sheer weight of the horror that lurks in the night. I am a shell of a man, exposed for far too long to the true nature of reality, and my wife is awake, demanding an explanation. Whenever I try to speak of the thing, my throat is seized with an unspeakable discomfort. I cannot describe it. To even think of it makes my eyes flood once more. I cannot explain it. Each attempt at rationalizing the night's events sends a flurry of pain through my skull. I cannot speak of it, for I fear my mind cannot handle revisiting that soul-crushing terror. My wife is sitting vigil by her bedside lamplight, waiting for her husband to explain himself. But I do not know what to tell her. I do not know how to describe the storm that had been raging in my mind. I do not know how to explain my violent behavior. I do not know how to tell her I am scared.